you believe in ghosts? Do you seek otherworldly thrills? Have you ever wondered about the things that go pop in the night? Well, do I have just the attraction for you. Purchase a one-way ticket on the subway midnight and get ready for the best ride of the rest of your life. Subway Midnight, released 29th of October 2021, is an indie horror problem-solving simulator from the mind of the ever-so-creative Bubby Darkstar. The game was a passion project for Bubby for about 3 years, and the time and effort put into it really shows. This game is nothing short of one of the most charming and visually stunning indie horror games released in a while. So, if you'll allow me some of your precious time, I'll tell you how grand it is. And maybe you might get a ticket yourself. There is complimentary soda. You find yourself asleep on a subway car. You wake up and look around. Nothing piques your interest, so you decide maybe it's best to look around for now. And suddenly, a green ghost pops out of the side of the car. He gives a little wave though, so he seems friendly enough. You make your way through another car when the camera starts to pan back. A flash of red appears as the doors swing open. It seems like you aren't the only living thing inside this train. You continue making it through the cars while whatever it is that's behind you lags along, until eventually, while halfway through the car, the doors swing wide open behind you. Whatever it is has caught up, and it certainly doesn't look friendly. You continue to run through the train until you make it to a door locked with a chain. With nowhere else to go, you try to desperately open the door. Whatever it is has caught up to you, and now it's gaining on you. You brace for impact, and then you're dead. Now, you're thrust into the shoes of Liz, the true protagonist, as she makes her way through that very same train. The story in this game is a lot more involved than you would think at first glance. Despite there never being a single line of dialogue spoken or written, you learn each character's backstory and motivations just by interacting with them. Now, on the topic of characters, this game has plenty. The charming cast is one of the key selling points of this game, as you go through the cars and meet the undead inhabitants. Well, most are undead. Your choices as you interact with the ghosts actually do matter, as depending on your choices, there's 2 endings you can get. Although, this is mostly more to do with puzzles, so I'll bring it up later in the gameplay section. While you'd think having no dialogue would weaken the experience, it actually makes it stronger. The game is the definition of show not tell. Through showing us what they do, we learn almost everything we need to know about them without any unnecessary dialogue, slowing down production time and the general pace of the game. So what actually is the game? Well, that's a little bit more tricky. Even Mr. Darkstar himself has a bit of trouble explaining it.
What is the gameplay of Subway Midnight like? Well, it changes a lot. It's definitely a horror game, but the idea is that as you move through the train, both the visuals and the gameplay start changing. One minute it's a walking sim / haunted house, next it's puzzles, then it's a retro first-person exploration game, and then it gets really abstract towards the end. It lasts about 4 to 6 hours, longer if you go for the secret endings, and it evolves a lot during that time.
But if I had to explain, I'd probably say that it's a horror comedy problem solver, as the core gameplay is helping, or not helping, bring these ghosts peace in the afterlife. You see, as you go through the subway, you meet quirky ghosts, each with their own problems to help with. And, along the way, as long as you pay attention to your surroundings and pick everything up, solving them should be fairly simple. Fairly simple. This next part will go into spoiler territory, so if you want to go in unspoiled, skip to this timestamp, or instead, click on that little chapters option right about here-ish, and skip ahead to the next chapter. Don't worry, I'll wait. All good? Okay, so, you know how I said fairly simple? That is true for the most part, except for two big factors. One, the camera. The camera in this game is probably the worst enemy you'll face in it. I don't know how many times I've died, simply because the camera didn't show me something, or because the camera didn't show it to me in a way that made sense. Take this laser puzzle for instance. In most games, a puzzle like this would be so simple. Just wait for the laser to turn off, and then run. But, because of the camera, I can't accurately judge where the laser is to me, and I die because I don't know where I can stand. This segment is probably one of the most frustrating ones, and it's not the only time I died to bad camera control. 2. The endings. Now, I understand this sounds vague, but allow me to explain. The first time you play this game, you're going to get the bad ending. This is not a statement on your skill, it's something that's hard-coded into the game. No matter if you save all the ghosts, there is one that can't be saved on your first playthrough, because you only get an item you need to save her afterwards. When you set up the second playthrough, however, all the ghosts you have saved are skipped, and you need to go right to the only one you need to save. While artistically, I appreciate this, it does also concern me a slight bit. I worry that people might not actually stick around to get to the true ending. Although, at the same time, I accept that there's nothing they could do that wouldn't have ruined some artistic value, and appreciate the compromise they chose instead. This game is absolutely stunning. I don't think there's any other word that really describes how pretty this game can be. There's so many moments when I was playing where I just went, whoa. And I can't commend the game enough for that. As well as the pretty backgrounds. The art in this game is adorable and hilarious at the same time. The backgrounds may set the scene, but the character designs and animations truly make the game what it is. I don't know if I could play this game if it didn't have the exact same charming art style. And I don't know if I could play this game if it wasn't for all the funny faces Liz makes. Subway Midnight has to be one of the best of the indie horror scene that's come around in a while. It's refreshing to see something so new and inspired these days. With fun and changing gameplay and a whole cast full of colorful characters, I don't think I could recommend Subway Midnight enough. So please, if you're ever in the area, purchase a ticket and take a ride. Okay, so maybe I lied. There's actually a third ending to get. But it's a secret. So I can't exactly tell you how to get it now, can I? You'll have to work that out for yourself. And don't look up a guide because that's cheating.